Welcome back to more Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Last time we had a tumultuous landing at the distant tundra, so this time we're continuing to look for Charlie. Alright, let's take out 25 yellow Pikmin, 25 rock Pikmin, and 50 red Pikmin. Along the way to our next destination, we also have to remember to pick up the fruit that we carried partway yesterday, and I also wanted to talk about something I really like about Pikmin 3. You might notice that it's no longer snowing. The weather is based on a combination of story progress and randomness. So for example, in the distant tundra, it will snow until either the bridges are complete or until 2 days pass. In the Garden of Hope, it will also be sunny until Brittany is rescued, in which case it can actually rain. The weather is completely random when you select an area, and even if you reload an area, you might get completely different weather, which I've actually seen quite a few times here, because this is the first day that's actually given me a lot of trouble. The reason why might be a little bit surprising, and it's actually coming up in this area here. We have a new type of enemy, the desiccated skitterleaves. They're basically skitterleaves, but can actually eat Pikmin, and because they tend to go in groups, and they can eat Pikmin really quickly, it's actually surprisingly easy to lose Pikmin to them. So I'm glad we got through that encounter without too much trouble. Someone's been through here. This is all starting to look very familiar, and especially so as we pass through this area here, so after this should be a very dark cavern, which is where we saw Charlie last. We have the Phosbat enemies from before, along with a Phosbat pod that generates more. What's that I'm sensing? So let's head over here and connect the wire. What was that thing? The Copad radar picked up a life sign, but could it be that thing got the captain? There's only one way to find out. Luckily, the light also causes the Phosbat pods to stop spawning more, so we can safely cross over and collect this data pad before moving on to the next area. I hope the captain's okay. I'd better check the radar. There are a couple ways to approach this area, and I'm going to approach this in a slightly unintended way. You're supposed to light up various light bulbs around the area, and then deal damage to the Vehemoth Phosbat, who is our next boss by the way, but we're actually going to cut ahead to a later step, because if we deal a certain amount of damage, the Phosbat pods around this area, and there are quite a few of them, will activate. It can attack by trying to inhale Pikmin, so you can whistle them to try to save them, but my best advice would be to avoid this circumstance entirely. It can be very finicky trying to whistle the Pikmin back. Instead of lighting up the area with each light bulb one at a time, we're simply going to focus on building this bridge. I'm going to try to lure the Venomous Phosbat away from the Pikmin that will be working on the bridge. This can be a little bit tricky. If all else fails, we can turn on this light just to stun it temporarily, but we won't deal damage to it because we want it to be staggered so we have time to build this bridge. Again, you can deal incremental damage using these smaller light bulbs, but I personally find it a lot more efficient to cut ahead to a later part of the process. Let's round up our remaining red Pikmin who helped to build this little stick over here, and we'll carefully make our way over across the bridge to another light source. I'm detecting a power surge. This is a job for the yellow Pikmin. That lights up the entire room, meaning we don't have to worry about the smaller Phosbats, we only have to worry about the Venomous Phosbat. It can release poison when it starts to fly up, so be aware of that. It'll also fly and cling to walls, in which case you want to charge, and like before, it can still inhale Pikmin, so we have to be very careful to call the Pikmin back as soon as something goes wrong. You might want to try to lure it into attacking, and then throw yellow Pikmin at its back in order to knock it out of the sky. This can be slightly risky though, so let's give this a shot. Make sure to actually lock onto the Phosbat and not the Phosbat pods by accident. Alright, now's our chance. Attack! And that dealt a lot of damage. Oh no, I'd better see if I can rein them in with B. Luckily, it's very easy to save the Pikmin from poison. Sadly, we don't have white Pikmin that are poison-proof though, so that makes this a little bit more complicated. One more solid attack phase should be enough to take it out. So, once again, let's try to sneak behind it and knock it out of the sky, and then we'll charge once again. And yeah, that should be enough. Oh, it's great to see you, Alf. I'm unharmed, but I must apologize for my stench. The inside of a monster's belly is no flower garden. Until I have a chance to clean up, just breathe through your mouths. Now, I'm sure you dropped everything to find me first, so I'll lead the search for our crashed ship. Sorry, sir. We found the ship first. But I'm afraid to say, the cosmic drive key is lost on PNF 404. It's gone? But without that, we're stranded here. We'll be doomed, and Kopai will starve. Wait a second. I found a data file in the belly of that beast. I thought it was just some old junk data at the time, but maybe not. Read it for yourselves. I found a key today. It says something about a cosmic drive on it. I doubt it's worth much, but it'll be a nice souvenir for my son if I ever get back to Hokotare, so my search for treasure continues. I'll stop at nothing to find the ultimate prize. I just know there's gold on this planet somewhere. Captain Olimar. You see, this Olimar fellow filed this report only recently. That key is our cosmic drive key. Do you know what that means? We must have landed on PNF 404 shortly before we did. We must find him somewhere on this planet, or be stranded here forever. Before we carry back our spoils, we actually want to go through the other side of the cave, because we can actually make a shortcut. Before you go back, there's actually a couple things I'd like to take care of first. First of all, let's actually have the Pikmin build this little contraption, and then we'll toss a couple captains over here. We'll have to quickly round up the Pikmin so these swooping snitch bugs don't get them, and let's take them out. Rock Pikmin are actually very good for immobilizing these snitch bugs, but obviously the other Pikmin are better for actually attacking because they can latch on. They can also fly fairly high up, so you might need to use the yellow Pikmin to gain enough distance, but we also have something very special over here. Well, this is interesting. I should get it back to the Drake for a thorough analysis. Very interesting indeed. So let's toss some Pikmin to carry that back, and in the meantime, I also want to quickly duck over here because there should be another bearded amp rat, and I want to go out of my way to fight it, so we'll leave the Pikmin alone as we try to carry things back. Again, electricity is significantly nerfed, so we don't really have to worry about fighting electricity enemies, or electric-type enemies, with other types of Pikmin. Now carry that back. We'll definitely get interrupted, hopefully not at too bad of a time when that arrives, but we also want to make our way back inside the cave to start cleaning up some of the items inside. It's actually almost back already. That's pretty quick, and again, it's a good thing I fought the enemy because it looks like they passed right through there. Let's get Charlie back in our squad and then make our way back into the cave. We have about half of our day left, which is definitely good. Analyzing. Oh, a message from the Drake. Analyzing recovered item. This is an optional part that adds a dodging feature to a regular whistle. This is a great way to customize my spacesuit. Wow, there's even a manual with it. Let's save it in the exploration notes. Press left or right on the D-pad to roll and dodge, unavailable while using a Joy-Con controller horizontally. Perfect! I'll be able to dodge a few more attacks with this. As described, we can press the D-pad to dodge left and right. It's very effective, but to be honest, I often forget about this move entirely, which is less than ideal. We'll have the yellows take back the Phosbat, because we're definitely low on yellow Pikmin by comparison to the other types. We'll have the red Pikmin carry the fruit back, which again is why I recommend clearing out the shortcut first, so you don't have to worry about going the long way around, though we, in all fairness, actually have to go that way for something else. Over here we have this stick that we passed by earlier. We'll have the red Pikmin build this. We actually have to wait a little bit because we want to round up the remaining red Pikmin for something else. This will take about 20, and you actually have to take them back one at a time, similar to like a bridge part. And yeah, the bridge pieces. So likewise, we'll leave Alf here to round up the red Pikmin when they come back. With 40 Pikmin in our current squad, we're going to go back to where Charlie crash landed, and there's actually a secret there. We definitely want a lot of Pikmin for this, just as a heads up. This is slightly dangerous, but strangely enough, again, the toughest part of this day is actually the skitter leaves, in my opinion. It's actually not all of the other enemies, including the actual boss of this area, which is interesting. We have a data file. Looks like someone took a tumble here in the fresh snow. Perhaps someone else is stranded here. If anyone is reading this, there are several electrical contraptions in this area. I've buried something here in the snow. Hopefully it's useful. Captain Olimar. So let's investigate over here. We have another Arctic cannon larva. And let's take it out. I was trying to circle. I was hoping it would actually attack. So I could easily, like, get around it, but oh well. This might take a little bit. It looks like it's being a little stubborn at the moment, but as described, we do have a target point here. I'm pretty sure yellow Pikmin also dig faster, if I'm not mistaken, so that's another beneficial feature of the yellow Pikmin. In general, the yellow Pikmin are actually really strong ever since the first game, where I feel like since they could only use bomb rocks, they weren't like super helpful in the first game, but ever since, they keep adding on new skills to the yellow Pikmin to the point where they are actually one of the best types. But in the snow, it looks like we actually have another upgrade to a nerf. Isn't this? I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before, but where? I need to get this analyzed back at the Drake. Maybe it'll come back to me there. we'll leave the Pikmin to work on this, and we'll drop Charlie off as well to round up. Never mind, we can round up the Pikmin ourselves. In the meantime, there's a couple more fruits that are relatively easy to get, but we are quickly running out of time for this day, so I'm a little worried. We'll also have the yellows carry back the skitter leaves, since again, we're kind of low on yellow Pikmin by comparison, so we might as well try to build up our numbers a little bit more. I'm also going to double check really quickly that I didn't leave any behind. It looks like we're good to go. I hope. So let's move on in the meantime. We have a couple things we can still get in the remaining time we have in this day. We'll actually have Alf get the red Pikmin and then make his way over. I am missing one. It must not be back yet. Oh, it got stuck. That's what happened. Yeah, sometimes the automatic AI isn't the most dependable thing in the world, unfortunately. We'll have Alf go over here for now, and then we'll have the others go to the cave where we ran to the yellow Pikmin, because if you recall, there was actually something in a crystal there. So yeah, we'll just quickly duck inside here and collect that. Again, there's actually an upper ledge with a screw, but I'm not actually concerned about that for now. That's a whole other thing that we're not equipped to deal with. We're not equipped enough to handle quite yet, so we'll worry about that at a later time, but this is definitely doable in this particular day. We have a couple fruits here, but they're actually split up this time, which is a little bit different. That is an interesting combination of Pikmin. Analyzing. Oh, a message from the Drake. Analyzing recovered item. This undergarment makes any spacesuit electricity resistant. This is a customizable option for spacesuits. Wow, there's even a manual with it. Let's keep it in the exploration notes. Prevents you from getting zapped. Nice. Now I can touch electrified objects without getting hurt. If there's anything I have a problem with in Pikmin 3 is sometimes when you have two things close together, you'll try to toss Pikmin at them and they'll go for the wrong item. That definitely happened there a little bit, but not too bad, thankfully. I feel like I'm short on Pikmin, so I'm going to quickly check the radar to make sure no one got left behind, and a couple got left behind, so we're going to make a beeline over to where we got the spacesuit upgrade, because I actually did leave a rock Pikmin. I wasn't sure if that icon was something else, like the enemy, the defeated enemy, but yeah, there was a rock Pikmin behind it. We're not fireproof yet, so be aware of that. The other Pikmin should be able to get the fruit back, no problem, but yeah, we definitely need to pick up any stray Pikmin that got left behind. Also, it's actually really nice that the Pikmin are really good about water in this case. Like, they don't follow you into the water, which is very nice. Yep, one got left behind. And it looks like we still have a few more somewhere, so let's check the map once again. It might just be this isn't back yet, which would be fine. But just make sure none got stuck anywhere else. So we'll check back in with Alf. It looks like we're fine. We have a few things, like I was hoping to get to that over there, but unfortunately we are quickly running out of time. We'll come back at a later time to actually round up the remaining fruits and potentially go after some Easter eggs as well, like some of the data files that are a little bit remote, like that one. That one's actually really annoying to get. Brittany's all the way over here, but as long as a captain is with the Pikmin, they're fine. So that's okay. We could probably get that data file really quickly if we hustle over here and toss Alf up to this ledge. I like how you actually have a counter for how many Pikmin are on the field. It's actually really nice, so you don't have to wonder. That was actually a really good throw. I actually sometimes struggle with this one. I almost fell off too, which would have been bad. But yeah, I actually didn't get as much, but we got the 2 upgrades, and that's the most important thing on this particular trip to the distant tundra. But yeah, we'll be back for some more items, or more fruits, in the future, as our second day here is coming to an end. I can't wait to taste the new fruit. Until we find Olimar and get our key from him, the 3 of us will be stuck on PNF 404. It's more important than ever for us to find food. Good, we still have plenty of juice left. We increased our yellow Pikmin numbers considerably because of the boss, and overall that was a very productive day. We considerably increased our juice counter, and we have rescued our 3rd and final crew member. Thanks to the yellow Pikmin, we were able to defeat the Vehemoth Phosbat. And much to everyone's surprise, we found our captain inside the beast. Wow, and can you believe our luck? We found a data file from someone named Olimar, who has our cosmic drive key. But where in the world is this Olimar? Where? We need that key. You can now fight the Vehemoth Phosbat in a defeat bosses mission. Olimar's assignment is now unlocked in side stories. Captain, we're so relieved to see that you're okay. Well, I have my faithful crew to thank for that, so thank you. I actually mistook that strange creature for you. You two have very similar features, did you know that? To be honest, while trapped in the belly of that vile beast, I thought of only one face, Brittany, my own. Well, we'll never escape PNF 404 until we locate this treasure-obsessed Olimar fellow. He's got a cosmic drive key. But don't forget why we're here, to search for fruit for our planet. For us too, or else we'll starve. What's that signal coming from over there? A signal like that. If it's not coming from our ship or one of us, maybe it's Olimar. With a transmitter that strong, it must be planetary explorers like us. It must be the Hokutation. And where we find Olimar, that's where we'll find our cosmic drive key. Let's track the signal to its source. The side story Olimar's assignment is now available. You can access it any time, even while playing story mode. I've been analyzing the data files that we found. Based on them, it seems likely that the Hokutation picked up our cosmic drive key. Interesting. Well, all the pieces seem to fit. I'm worried about our food, though. What if it gets stolen? Worry not, Brittany. I would never let that. Brittany raises a good point. While we're collecting food, let's keep an eye out for that Hokutation. Yes, absolutely. Two things of note. I did not realize it was the Vehemoth Phosbat. I was saying venomous the whole time, but also we have access to a new area. Sort of. Well, we've already been here a little bit. This was essentially the tutorial area. The Tropical Wilds was where Alf crash landed, but we also have access to Olimar's assignment, which we'll be covering at a much later time. So next time we'll work on trying to locate this signal in the Tropical Wilds. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Pikmin 3 Deluxe.